Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman, Wargamer. It's the start of a brand new playthrough, and looking at the table here, you've already guessed we're going to be starting Skies Above Britain, solitaire game designed by Jerry White and Gina Willis and published by GMT Games. There have been a few playthroughs of this game, and they've all started with Chapter 1 skirmishing over the channel, and I'm going to be no different. So let's have a look and see what that's all about. Channel War, 10th of July to 10th of August 1940. France is still falling, but already that fight spills over into the stretch of sea between Britain and the continent. Convoys ply along Britain's coast and to ports elsewhere, and the Luftwaffe's opening moves target those ships and perhaps the ports in easy reach of its air assets newly stationed in France. Or will they launch a raid deep into England? Now we're going to jump straight into this chapter. I'm not going to go through the tutorial scenarios. A few people have done those. I'm just going to assume you've got some idea how the game works. I will, of course, explain things as I go along. And, as always, the caveat is this isn't an in-depth how-to-play tutorial set of videos. This is old Rough playing the game and you looking over my shoulder, as it were, and to see, if you haven't got it already, if this game is for you. So, this chapter length is 6 patrols. The first thing it says is to randomly draw these vector markers, which are these things, and place them on the interception map. And we're going to place them from right to left, 2 of them, 4, 2, 2, and then ending with singles at the left-hand side. So let's do that. Now I've put mine in a bag and I'm going to draw them randomly. And I did get a question when I was playing combat. How did I draw them out the bag and know which side up they are? Well, it's pretty easy. The side we want to show, we don't want to show the other side, is more rounded, and this is rougher. So you can feel in the bag which side is which. So there we are. Right. Give them a shake up. I'm going to put 2 here. Then we're going to put 4. Here's the last one. 2 here. Then 2 here. 1, 1. Let's speed that up a bit. And then 1. And 1. There we go. Next it says to sort out where the squadron is. But I don't like to do that for narrative reasons. We haven't even sorted our pilots out yet, or the weather. So I'll do that later when we've sorted out who's flying this patrol, and that'll tell us how long they've been up and where they are in relationship to this raid. So let's see what the quality of our pilots are. Five. So we've got 2 green, 16 regular, 2 veterans, and nobody with any ace skills. So let's meet the pilots. Now my pilot roster contains friends that are either other YouTubers or subscribers to the Tack Up Wargaming Facebook page, or indeed our own subscribers. So let's introduce the pilots. And the game recommends that you use these letters to help you name your pilots. I've tried to do that as much as possible, but it's not essential, which is why you'll see some that are nothing to do with the letter next to them. But anyway, we've got Alan, who is actually the blue tweezers. B is Mike Berticelli, the designer of Wolfpack and Tank Duel, and also is a developer for GMT Games. Subscriber Christophe de Klerk, and good old Dave's Gaming Cave for D. E is another subby, Gareth Evans. And by the way, we asked these peeps at the last War Room vlog who would like to be on the roster. We've got E4 Airman, another subby on F. Groucho Marx, YouTuber Hissy Cat, the infamous ID Jester, and he did have the hump a bit, did Joe, when I called him Spitfire Joe, because we will be flying Spits today. But he's there, Stuka Joe. Meandering Mike, another YouTuber. Look at this, Herman Lupman. We've got another subby here, Nordic Maelstrom, and co-host on the War Room, Nate Landrum. Koi51, YouTuber Phoenix Knight, Viper Dave, Tony's Bald Life, Richard Kerr, and at the bottom there, Historic Wings. That's Thomas Van Hare, designer of those fabulous solo Air War game books. We threw a 5, so 2 of these pilots are going to be green. The way I'm going to do it is, again, use the bag. I've got the 20 pilot chits in there. So we'll draw 2 first to see who is green. And the first one is W. That's Historic Wings. In real life, he's a pilot. But anyway, if for this game, he's green. So we'll make a note on the roster there. Hopefully it won't be too long before he becomes a regular pilot. And the second one, we've got F. And that is E4 Airman. So we've popped that there as well. Now we need to draw for 2 veterans. And we'll pop those up there on the squadron display as green pilots. And we'll stick a couple of those with them to remind us. Let's draw our veterans. U, that's Richard Kerr, who gets turned over. And lastly, T, Tony. Tony's Bald Life is a vet. We'll pop those up there on the squadron display in the veteran pilots space. Everybody else now is a regular pilot, and we'll pop those up there on the squadron display, which we'll have a look at in a moment. Starting visibility. We'll have the blue die for the starting visibility, and if it applies, the red die for the sun location. 1, that's clear and sun, and 7, the sun is at the starboard position. So we'll pop the sun marker on the clear and the other sun marker up at starboard, just up there. Let's have a look at the squadron display. So here's the squadron display. We can see we have 4 sections of Spitfires. Yellow, red, blue and green, and yellow and red make up A flight. Blue and green, of course, B flight. And we now need to sort out which pilots are flying which plane. What I tend to do, we've got a couple of green pilots there, so I think I'll put one there. We want to get these up as soon as possible to get their experience so they become regular pilots, and we'll keep a veteran with them to look after them. And we'll pop one over here, I think. It's Tony, you'll look after those. And the rest we'll do randomly so we don't get any grief from the rest of the pilots. So let's put those in the bag. So going with Richard Kerr and historic wings, we've got Gareth Evans, red section, who's going to lead that. It's going to be Christophe de Klerk and his two wingmen, ID Jester and K. Meandering Mike, blue leader. That's Nordic Maelstrom. And in his section, that's Hissy Cat and Koi 51. And lastly, in green 2 is Viper Dave. And the rest are back up here as reserves. Now we've got to make sure that we mark off the patrols that our pilots are doing. We have to keep an account of that for things like fatigue. So you can see we've marked off those pilots that are going to fly today. So the last thing we do before we can start is to get them up in the air and see which zone they're in to meet the raid that's coming across the channel. So to find which zone we're in, we're going to roll a die. That'll tell us. 6. That means we're in the middle zone. So we'll pop our squadron marker there. Middle for diddle, eh? One thing I forgot to mention is that we will be using some of the optional rules. We'll be using confirmed kills, where 4 fighter kills will equal 1 confirmed kill. This tends to limit the amount of aces we'll accumulate, which is more historically accurate, and the random events. And lastly, we'll be using the graduated replacements. In the book, by the way, there's a mistake, but it is correct on the back of the book. So that's our optional rules. Our Spitfires are all fully fueled, and our cards are ready and shuffled. So let's get on with Patrol 1. As we're using the optional rules and the random events, we would start off by rolling on this table, but as you can see here, it says start using this after your first patrol. So we move to the first part of the sequence of play, which is the raid vector sequence. And the first thing to do is reveal these vector markers. So the first one is a raid. And here it is on the back of the sequence of play. And the raid marker not in play, that's us. If the raid marker is not yet on the raid track, place it in the vector marker space. If visibility is clear, place escort station markers in escort stations on the interception map using information on the in the situation manual. Right. So on goes the raid marker. The raid has been spotted. It's clear. We can now see what sort of escort the raid has. And we're going to roll and have a look on here. Eight. So we've got some 109s on the port and 110s on the starboard. Neither of which are heavy, so let's place those. So here are the markers, and we've got 109s at the port station. And the 110s coming out the sun on the starboard station. We now pick the second vector marker. Oh, straggler. Don't think we'll go after a straggler. I think we have to send a section after that. So all those are now revealed. We move down to the fuel phase, where we're going to move all our fuel markers along one. And then we've got to decide whether or not we're going to make contact with the raid. Now the thing is, do we want to make contact? We could say no and go to this phase where we can either move this squadron to the coast or go to high altitude, or we could do both, but that would cost fuel. Problem the squadron's got is that if we don't make contact, we will have to start revealing these, and there's a good chance there'll be another raid marker in it, which means those bombers have now dropped their bombs and will turn homeward. So I think what we'll try and do is make contact with the raid, even though we're at sort of low altitude. We can make contact because we're in an adjacent zone. Better if we're in the same zone if we were here, but I think we've got to do it. We may have to spend some more fuel to get into a slightly better position, but let's see what we throw. $11. That's nose low. If we spend a fuel, we can come in at nose high. And I think we'll do that because there is a penalty for coming in at nose low. We won't be able to do any disruption, which is like breaking the raid apart to get our victory points. So we'll move the cubes down and we'll come in at nose high. That's the end of the raid vector sequence. We now move down to the interception sequence, and we're going to give our squadron their orders. Now the orders are: go after the escort, go after the bombers, or cruise around and try and find a better position. Don't think we'll do that. We could send the whole squadron in to attack the bombers. That does mean we're going to get those two coming after us. Let's have a look at our options. We ignore the escorts for now and just went after the bombers. We're at high. We've got 109s on the starboard and 110s on the port. So we'd have to throw the higher of these, which is a 7, to intercept. Or if we went after the escorts coming in high, we'd still have to throw a 5. And if we suppress one of those and we come back here, we'd still have to throw a 6 if we suppressed the 109s. So I've had a little think. What I've decided to do is to have A flight go after the 109s and B flight to go after the bombers. So we'll use these to split up the squadron and place the orders. So we'll take that off. There we go, flight A after the escorts, flight B after the bombers. My reasoning behind that is, even though there's not a lot of difference between the numbers here to intercept the bombers, if we can suppress the escorts, when we get to here, the escort reaction might not be quite so bad. That's the theory anyway. What I should have done as well is place out the bomber formation, but I'm going to leave that until after the escorts have done their job and flight B can deal with the bombers. I'm doing that because of the space I've got to video the game. Right, let's intercept the escorts. So going after the 109s, we've got to throw the higher number anyway. We're at high. So 5 or more. Three, no, he didn't do it. So that means the Luftwaffe have got the jump on us. And so we'll draw a couple of these. We'll give them another shuffle just to keep everything fair and above board. So one for yellow, one for red section. Now, because they've gone after the escorts, they are immediately lost contact. Let's see what yellow section gets. Tailed. If heavy escort, no. So they're tailed by a rota of 109s. Here we go. Now, we do them in this order, but we're being tailed. So we can do a maneuver. We can do a turn. We can evade. Or we can do a slip. A turn, of course, means we're going to try and turn around and face that rota of 109s. Evade means we can pick 2 tailed cards and choose the better one, and slip only works with sections, which this is. That means that one of the fighters can try and slip behind the Germans if the slip icon appears on the card. What I think we'll do is we'll try a turn. So what we'll do now is pick one of these. We'll give them a quick shuffle. See what we get. So we are a section 109s, and yes, that arrow is the symbol we're looking for. We don't take this bit at the bottom into account, so we have turned. And these 109s are now in front of us. We get a hit on one of them. Let's see who gets the probable hit. As you can see, we've got 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12. And that's the one. So yellow 3, that's Thomas. Gets his first possible kill. Next, though, one of the fighters is going to get a low ammo. So we'll throw this again, see who it is. Because they're all firing at them. 6. That's going to be yellow leader. He gets a low ammo. Nobody's got any hits. So moving down, that's everything done. No hit check to do. So we go back. And this time we pick a head-on and tailing card. do we get now? Head on, we are a section, we are 109s. Lots and lots going on here. We can do them in any order, but the upshot is this one here means that the Germans disappear. So we can get rid of those. The L here means that the RAF fighter becomes independent, is now lost contact. Well, they are lost contact anyway, so I'm not sure if one will split off from that section. I don't think it makes a lot of difference because they're all lost contact at the moment, but let's see who would become loose. Let me know if I don't need to do that, if they're already lost contact. We've got a 4, so that's historic wings. That's come loose from the section. We've also got this C, which is a nasty one, which is collision. So we roll a die, and if it's a 1, one of those planes have collided with that rotor. 12, no, we're okay. Oops, can't see it. That's a nice 12. So we're okay for that. Last thing on the card is a hit for somebody. And once again, we'll roll this, see what we get. Number 7, that's yellow leader again. So we're going to take one of these hit counters. And it's a 9 on the engine. That's everything on the card. Their dogfight has finished, but we now have to do the hit check on yellow leader. That's Richard Kerr. He needs a 9 or more, otherwise he's off to the fate box. 10, yes, get in. He's fine for now. These will now go down to the lost contact area of the interception map. And we carry on with the next dogfight. Oh, we've got a swarm of 109s and fingers off. A green fighter immediately becomes low ammo, but there are no green fighters. So we need a swarm of 109s. This is a bit more deadly. Move that over there. No, they're head-on, aren't they? Right. So we need a head-on and tailing card. And we get head-on, section 109. Oh, no. So they actually disappear. Just showing you that. They vanish. Don't get any kills for that, though. However, one of our pilots gets a hit as they fly past. Number 2, that's going to be red 3. That's ID Jester. Oh dear. He gets a hit on the rudder for 7. And to make matters worse, we've got a rudder of 109s coming up behind us. I suppose because we're tailed now, maybe we carry on with this. We've done the head on. Next would be tailed before we do this hit check. Again, let me know if that's not right. This game is a little bit sort of involved, lots of things to remember. So your help is appreciated. Anyway, tailed. All right, before we pick the card, do we want to do a maneuver? Let's try and evade, which will allow us to pick 2 cards and choose the better one. So we've got 2, and we're going to pick best one. Oh, crikey, they're both turn. We didn't do a turn. We've got to use the thing on the bottom. Well, that looks a bit messy because we've got a section and 109, so we're using this area here. So I think, yes, that one means somebody comes loose, we get attacked by 2 more German 109s, and the green wound doesn't count, but I think we'll just take the hit here. But we do get rid of one of them. Who's taking the hit? 12, that's going to be red 2. That's Meandering Mike. He takes a hit. And he gets fuselage 4. That's the end of that cycle. We now move down. There's no tailing. We now move down to the hit check. Let's do Jester first. He needs a 7 or more, otherwise he ends up in the fate boxes. 3, no. Oh dear. He's got a rudder, so he will end up in the rudder fate box. Meandering Mike only needs a 4 or more. He's fine. And we carry on again. What are we going to do this time for a maneuver? Let's try a turn. This is becoming costly. Let's see what we get. We're still a section, even though we're just the 2. We do the turn, and there are no green pilots in this section, so we are now head on. Well, we've done the tailed and tailing. We have to come down. There's nothing, we haven't got any hits, so we start again, this time with a head on. Come on, let's get rid of this one. Head on. Another one becomes loose. Don't think it matters, but one gets a hit and that disappears. Again, they're lost contact anyway, but who gets that hit? It's cost red section dear. 12, that's going to be red 2. Meandering Mike, he gets the hit. All 5 on the engine. That's it. We now do the hit check. He needs a 5 or more this time. Oh, yeah, I'm having that. 12. Yes, well done, Mike. That was a trivial hit. These are lost contact. Back at the interception map, Flight A have done their job, leaving Flight B to deal with the bombers. But first, when I did the contact, I should have used a fuel, which I've moved here now and put them in the right place. I've also put ID Jester's token on top of the plane to remind us who was flying that one. And this loose business that occurred during the dogfight, having had a look on BGG and having a think about it, this lost contact isn't a specific area, as a few people are calling it. It's very nebulous. So I would have thought that even though the section was lost contact, the fact that a pilot has become loose means they've come away from that section. So will be dealt with as independent fighters when we come to the chase phase. These, I believe, are still classed as a section. Again, let me know if I'm wrong, because we want to play this game correctly. Okay, we've had the interception phase. Next, we're going to see if it was successful by seeing if those 109s were suppressed. And we do that by looking at the Escort suppression table. Of course, the 109s, they are light. We had 2 sections of flight go after them. So what we're looking at are these 2 numbers here, 8 and 4. The 4 is the number we have to throw or greater to suppress those 109s. If we throw an 8 or more, though, we will reduce them. And reducing a light escort means that we can remove them from the interception map. So let's see how lucky we are. Pop that there. 9, yes! That means we would reduce them, and as it's a light escort, that means it's removed from the map. Brilliant. Off you go. Okay, now it's Flight B's turn to intercept the bombers, but as I mentioned earlier, we haven't actually put out the bomber formation, so we'll do that now. Here's the bomber type and formation table for this chapter. We'll have the blue die to tell us what sort of bomber we've got, and the red die their formation. We've got Stukas, and the 4 means we'll have this 6-tile formation for them. So let's set that up. Now on the sequence of play, we are here, and we've got to try and see if we can successfully intercept the bombers past those 110s that are still there. So on here, we're coming in at the nose, of course. We are high. We've got the 110s at the starboard side. 109s are gone, so we're using just this number. So a 6 or more to intercept the bombers. And we get an 8. That's good enough. We've got through the 110s. And as we are successful, we can now come down to the bomber cycle, and the first thing we do is approach. And B Flight are approaching from the nose, so we'll bring those down. Now, even though they're in sections at this stage, I believe they're classed as independent fighters because they're about to engage this bomber formation, and all kinds of chaos will ensue. It doesn't matter who goes where. Now, because these haven't dropped their ordnance yet, we will get victory points if we split up these tiles into separate formation tiles, if you like. 1 victory point for each, so 6 victory points are up for grabs here. And for the Stukas, because they are a light bomber, we only need 3 hits to destroy one. But if we get an engine or a cockpit hit result, that will destroy them as well. Also, splitting up these Stuka tiles will make the Stukas easier to destroy. So, having said that, I think if we attack maybe these 3 tiles, and once again, you may have a different point of view, but let's try that. So we'll have blue leader and blue 3, which is Nordic Maelstrom, and Hissy Cat going after that Stuka there. We'll have green leader and green 3. Said this one, I think. which is Tony's Board Life and E4 Airman. The reason I'm bringing those in together is because veterans have privileges. And here they are. And a veteran can pick one of those once per patrol. And the one I'm thinking of is this Stay Trim. While in a bomber formation area, it will cancel one of those green effects as long as they are at the same attitude and attacking the same bomber. So they've got to be in the same section, which they are. So that's the reason for that. And then these two, we've got blue 2 and green 2, which is Koi 51 and Viper Dave coming in, attacking this formation at the back. Let's see if we can split those up. So that's the approach. Next is burst, where we're going to attack these Stukas. And because they are light bombers, we will be using the light bomber deck, which will give another little shuffle too. There we are. So we'll start here with blue leader and blue 3. Blue leader, Nordic Maelstrom. Let's see how he gets on. We are attacking tiles that are together. Oh dear. Anyway, this 4 is a disruption and will cause this tile to split away if we have 4 or more fighters or enemy damage markers on the Stukas. We've got 6, so this tile will now be disrupted. So let's do that. There we go. Actually, I can't remember which Stuka they were attacking. Doesn't make too much difference because there's no damage on this one, but blue leader, Nordic Maelstrom, has to check for a collision. That's what the C means. And if he throws a 1, he has collided with that Stuka. $11, we're fine. That's him finished. Now I tend to move them across here just to keep tabs on who's attacked. They are still engaged because that doesn't happen until everybody has attacked. But as I say, it just helps me keep tabs on what's going on. Now, we've got blue 3. We've got a victory point, but we haven't damaged any Stukas yet. That's Hissy Cat having a go. Now this time we're coming in from the nose, of course, but it's a single tile. Now if we've got 2 or more fighters, spits or damage markers, we can actually isolate this Stuka, which we have. We've got the 2 because, as I said earlier, this still is engaged, if you like. So we'll do that. So that has fallen out of formation. Another collision, and then that Stuka returns fire. So not a great card. Let's do the collision first. Again, if it's a 1, it collides. Oh, another 11. Great. But we do have a return fire. So we're going to take one of these and we will take note of what's on the back. And we get, see, that's low ammo. We don't take account of that. That just means low ammo for Hissy. And he's finished. Next we'll do blue 2. That's Viper Dave having a go. Again, these are contiguous, so we will be using this one. Get rid of that. Well, this doesn't look good either. 5 to isolate it. No, there's only 4. We don't even have a hit, so we can't isolate that. He gets jammed. Move him there. He gets jammed. Another collision. Crikey. We could do them in any order, these on the card here. 10. That's okay. And that's it. We can't do that because there's only 4. So that's Viper Dave. Not having much luck. Green 2. That was blue 2. I think I've got the names mixed up. That was actually Koi 51. Now it's Viper Dave. Sorry, Viper. You're coming in now. We're still on here. Oh, we get a hit. So 4 will isolate this tile, and we have got 4 on because remember that's still engaged. So let's do that. There we are, which isolates that one. So we've got 3 victory points. He is low ammo though. Hits the Stuka. So we'll get one of these. Make sure it's the right way round. We've got Hurricane and Spitfire, so he gets a wing hit. Not enough to kill it, but he gets a return fire for his troubles as well. Oh, it's another low ammo. He's out of ammo. And he's done as well. Lastly, we've got Tony, green leader. Coming from the nose, these are still joined together, so we're on this one. 7, no chance, only 2 there. Does get a hit. Oh, keep forgetting to get rid of those. Hold on. There we go. Gets a hit, but is low ammo. Oh, it's an engine. That's destroyed. If you remember, engine hits destroy Stukas. So Tony, he gets his first bomber kill. Unfortunately, though, E4 Airman has to carry on attacking this, even though it's gone, because it's simultaneous, if you like. They're both attacking at the same time. So let's hope for a nice kind card. We are here still. 9, no chance, there's only 2. And he's jammed. Which could have been worse, I suppose. They are all now disengaged. Move them over here. Which is this part. Now we move down to the hit check. There are no hits on our boys. So now we resume the interception phase. We are here. We've done round 1. And now we do the cruise order. Nobody had that. So we move down to entropy. And again, we get another try at the Stuka formation before the Escort has a go. Now, the thing is, if we want to turn around and come back and trail these Stukas, because it takes a bit of time, they will be delayed and will have one of those on them, and as the name suggests, they will delay their attack until we come round to the entropy phase again, but by then the escorts will have had a pop. So what we could do is come in at the side, which will cost us no time at all. So I think we'll do that. This is what I've decided. We're going to have two go after this Stuka. We're going to try and break this apart rather than go after this or this wounded one. Let's just see if we can take out a Stuka. Green 2, Viper Dave, is out of ammo and is no use to the rest of the Spits. So if you don't approach a bomber in the bomber cycle, you can return to base because he's not going to be engaged. So we'll pop Viper Dave on the RTB track where the green fuel cube is, over there, and he will be returning to base. So back to the bomber cycle and the burst phase. So we'll start with green leader. That's going to be Tony. Let's see what we get. We're here because that's still all joined up. We're coming in from the starboard. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if we do the damage first, that'll give us the 7. It's a wing hit. We've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what we need. This is now disrupted. So let's do that. That's another victory point. Unfortunately, though, Tony is now out of ammo. Up comes green 3. That's E4 Airman. We're on here now and here. 5 to make that fall out, but no, we've only got 3. Does get a hit, so that'll make it 4. Still not enough. Let's see what it is, though. Oh, it's an engine. E4 Airman's only gone and destroyed that Stuka. Well done, E4 Airman. And he gets his bomber kill. Well done. Ah, hold on. We've got to see if it works because he's jammed. Oh dear, forgot about that. I'm making a few little mistakes here, but hopefully we're catching most of them. So remember, for jammed, we need to throw an even result to have that destroyed and count. Come on. Yes. So as you were. Sorry about that. He's still jammed though. And he is now low ammo as well as being jammed. But hey ho. I think that's everything on there. Couldn't do that. Done the hit. And low ammo. Right. Over to blue leader. That's Nordic Maelstrom. Still on here and here. 11. No chance. He just gets a low ammo. Move him over there. There we are. Next up, with his jammed guns, is blue 2. That's Koi 51. He's not green, so that's okay. 11 again. And another low ammo. So jammed with low ammo now. The only thing about this game, it's a bit fiddly with these blocks. But that's a minor thing. Who we got here? We've got blue 3, of course. That's Hissy Cat. Oh, that 9 doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, even with this hit. That is a dorsal gunner hit. So it's a fuselage damage. And if we decide to come and tail this formation, his dorsal guns, of course, won't work. So we won't get any tailed hits. There we go. And away he goes. We now disengage. We'll move them over here. We have completed the bomber formation in the entropy phase. Now we move down to the escort reaction. So we'll give these a little shuffle. And we'll pop that there. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, I've adjusted the camera and the Spitfires because there's a bit of stuff going on here. We have to do these in a certain order, and that is shown on here. So the first thing is cloud escape. We do have one, but that only applies if the visibility is clouds, which it isn't. It's clear, so we can ignore that. Next one is help arrives. And we have 109s in the starboard station. And we've got 3 little icons there, which means we're going to have to pick 3 Luftwaffe advantage cards to attack 3 of our Spitfires. So we'll do that randomly, of course. We've got one with no ammo. I can actually take that jammed off, I think. Low ammo there, no ammo, and 2 low ammos. So let's see who's the unlucky pilots. We'll use a 6-sider. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we throw a 6, we'll roll again. 5. That's the first one. We'll do it again. This time we'll use a 4-sider. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4. And a 3-sider. 1, 2, 3. 3. These are not being involved. So who we got here? 2 no ammos, great. And jammed. So we're going to have 3 cards. Give them a bit of space. Just for fairness sake, you wouldn't normally do this, but we'll shuffle them again. Just so it's all above board. One for you, and one for you. Sorry about the glare. Right, let's go left to right. We've got green leader. That's Tony with no ammo. Pop this over there for a minute. Oh, he's tailed by a swarm of 110s. There we go. Section only and green pilot only. So we don't have to worry about that. So what shall we do? I think we'll do a maneuver, of course. Let's try and evade, because if we do end up tailed by the 110s, at least we can reduce one of them. So let's take 2 of those and see what we've got. So we're a single plane and it's 110, so we'll be using this. We can't use that top bit, so we'll use the bottom bit, and of course we're going to use this one. So they are reduced, and as we are steel tailed, we can reduce them again down to a rota. That wasn't too bad. What should we do now? Let's try a turn. They may shoot past us. They may not, of course. Another tailed card. Here we go. Single, single. No, we don't turn, but we do reduce that rota down to a single 110. Ooh, what to do now? Let's try another evade. So once again we're here. Oh no, that's terrible. We either take 2 hits or get rid of this because it's reduced, but we're going to end up with another rota in front of us. Oh crikey. Let's do this one. Taking a chance. I don't want to take 2 damage. So head on this time. No ammo. Let's give these a shuffle because I don't want to be accused of any nonsense. Here we go. So we are single. Oh, no, that was for the 109s. They disappear, but Tony gets a hit as they fly past. Oh my goodness. It is. And 11 on the fuselage. That's the end of that dogfight. Now we're into the hit check, of course. We would have started that cycle again with the head on, but there were no hit checks to do then. So, 11, Tony. Bit of an ask. Ooh! Tony is sent to the fate box on the fuselage part. We'll take his counter and put that on his Spitfire. And we now do the next one. So we've got, oh, this is terrible. We've got a rota of 110s coming towards us, but Hun in the sun. Yep, the visibility is clear, and the Escort is coming out of the sun. There is starboard high sun where those 110s are. Who is this, by the way? This is green 3. That's Viper Dave in a bit of trouble, because he's also got a swarm tailing him as well, because that Hun in the sun does apply if it's a part of the Escort reaction help arrives, which it is. So first we do the head on. We are head on It's 110s. We are a single. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Those disappear and fly past us, but we get another rotter. Is it the same lot turning round and coming behind us? Now we do the tailed. Now this is a new situation. It's not happened to me before. We've got two separate counters there. Do we pick two separate cards? That sounds reasonable to me because they're both separate sort of things that happened. So we're being tailed. Oh, we could do a maneuver. Let's do the swarm first. Oh, nearly forgot. Need to do a maneuver. So I think we'll turn. See if that's any good. Single Spitfire and 110s. Oh, look at this. They disappear. They are now. We are now tailing. We turn. Yes, that's right. We are now heading towards them. Right. Thing is, though, we've done the tail. There's no tailing, so there's no hit check. So now we go back for another session. Head on. Fingers crossed. Head on. This one and this one. Oh, sorry, that's E4 Airman, not Viper Dave. I think I called him. Sorry about that. I'm getting too excited. That's what it is. These disappear. And he is now out of ammo. No hits, though. That's him finished. Right, see if I can get this one right. No ammo for Blue 2. That's Koi 51. I apologise for getting your names wrong sometimes. It gets a bit exciting. Here we go. What have we got? Oh, no. A rotter head on and a rotter tailing us. And he has no ammo. So the first thing we do is head on. Head on. We've got Spitfire, of course, and one. Oh, they disappear. And the same thing happens again. They obviously overshoot, turn round, and come back and tail us. Now we do the tailed. We'll do this one first. Sorry, doing that again because I completely messed up with the procedure there. So I've started again. Nothing much happened, I just did it wrong. So I need now to do a maneuver. I think we'll try and evade. What I'll do is I'll just give these a shuffle again because this is where I messed up. A lot going on with this. So two of these. Fingers crossed. What have we got? The glare. So Spitfire one or down here. Oh, I think we'll use this one then. So he's got no ammo, so we can't fire. Not using that one. So we'll use this one and that disappears. No hits. So we go back and start again. And we will try another evade. Because if they're still tailing at the end of it, we can at least reduce. All right, what we got? So Spitfire 110. Oh, no. Oh, yes. We'll reduce that one. That's right, yes. So before we move on, just clearing up a few things that we mentioned earlier in the video. One of which is E4 Airman's possible downing of a fighter. Remember, we need 4 fighter kills to get 1 confirmed kill. and I forgot to do it. He is jammed, so we need to see if he gets that first fighter kill. And just to remind you, when you're jammed, we throw a die and an even result. We apply that damage, but he keeps the jammed gun, or on odd. He doesn't get the kill, but we can remove the jammed marker. So here we go. 2, he gets that kill, and E4 Airman gets that escort kill. But he is, of course, out of ammo. And the mistake, of course, on that last one with Koi 51. Yes, we did reduce it, but he's still tailed. And when we use the evade, that means we can reduce another one if they're still tailed. So that's the end of that dogfight. And he can go over there. The last thing on the escort reaction is this: reduce the escort. Because we've got one of those. No ambush, by the way. So let's reduce the 110s. If they were heavy, we would reduce them, but they are not, so we can remove them. The escorts have gone. That's everything on the escort reaction card done. So now we move on to the chase phase. So in the chase phase, the lost contact planes will either return to base or try to intercept the raid again. Now, I think we'll do that because we've only got one with low ammo. So we've got 3 independent fighters, and this, I believe, is still classed as a section because there are 2 Spitfires there. So 4 sections, we're going to throw 1 die. What we're trying to do is throw 7 or more because we're clear, no escorts now. And if they are successful, we'll look on here and see where that section is coming in on the interception map. So 7 or more. Squeeze that in there. 1. Oops, can't see that. 1. No, they are not successful, so they have to stay there as a lost contact. Now we'll do these independent fighters. We throw 2 dice and pick the lower one. Again, we're looking for 7s. If they are successful, they come straight back and enter the bomber formation with the rest of the Spitfires already there. So we'll try red leader. Again, 7 or more. No, we have to pick the 1. No, they stay there. Red 2. 4. Hold on, we can't see that. Through a 4, we've got to take the lower one. So no. And lastly, yellow 3. 1. 1 and a 1. That wasn't very successful at all. By the way, if there were still escorts around, we didn't throw that number, we threw this one instead, then that would initiate another dogfight. But no. So we move on. Patrol complete. No, not yet. So we move the fuel markers. Along they come. Still got plenty of fuel. We've been a little bit lucky with this one, apart from, of course, the 2 in the fate boxes. If there were any suppressed escorts, we would remove the suppressed markers. Escort exit. No, they've already gone. No channel patrol. Reform lost contact. No, there aren't any sections on the interception map to reform. We now do the raid vector. So let's do that. So we move the raid marker along and take the first Inbound vector. And raid, they have dropped their bombs. So they move and turn to home. So we remove all of these. And we place the outbound markers on this track here. Let's do that. They're in the bag, of course. There we are. We now have to throw a die to see which new position the sun is in, because the raid has turned, so that will affect where the sun is. Pop that there. That's a 7, so that's odd. It's at starboard now. So what it does is at the flank, it's odd, it moves to the other side, to the port side. There we are. So after this, we swirl again. There are no orders or anything. So we're back in the entropy phase and the bomber formation. Here's our 4 Spitfires. Now we can, if we don't engage with any Stukas, we can return those Spitfires to base. And look, we've got a couple here that have no ammo. I've removed the jammed counter, incidentally, because it made no difference. They haven't any bullets left. So we got blue 2 and green 3. That's Koi 51 and E4 Airmen. We'll place those on the return to base track. They go underneath, of course, the current fuel levels. Right, let's do one more pass with these 2 low ammoed Spitfires. So we've got blue 3, Hissy Cat, and blue leader, Nordic Maelstrom. Having one last pass, we could go for the single undamaged Stuka, or the damaged Stuka on that formation card. We'll have to come in from the flank, because I don't want to delay. We only need 2 more hits to shoot that down. This one needs 3. We might get a cockpit or engine result, which would knock it out immediately. I don't know. Let's come in. Let's try this. So, flank. In comes Nordic Maelstrom. What have we got here? We're on a single. Oh dear, oh dear. We can knock that out of formation. So let's sort this out. There we go. He's now no ammo. And the swine returns fire. Here we go. Oh, lost contact. So we don't count the damage. So he goes a bit sort of skewy and ends up down at the lost contact area. In comes Hissy Cat. Come on, let's see if we can get this. Here we go, last chance. Starboard single plane gets the hit, but is also no ammo. Let's see what we get this time. Cockpit or engine would be good. It's a wing. It might be catastrophic if we can throw a 12. Right. Oh, nearly, but not quite. So that's everything. They disengage. We look down here. No escort reaction because they've gone. Chase. I think what we'll do, it's a long video, and I want to make sure that I haven't made any real catastrophic mistakes. We're going to return them to base. We've got a no ammo there, low ammo. We could bring them round again, but no, let's send them home. This is our first patrol. So we'll pop those on the return to base track. There we are, nice big pile there. Next is the fuel phase, so we move that along. Yeah, we could have done another run if we'd have got those lost contacts back into the game, but this is a long video, so we would move down, none of the supplies, swirl again, we'd come back to the bomber formation. Hissy Cat wouldn't engage because he's out of ammo, and so he would return. And that is the end of the patrol. Yep, in my haste going through the interception sequence, I completely forgot the raid vector sequence where we're going to turn over that. Got a bit carried away and forgot, so what would happen here, we'd move that onto that space and reveal our outbound vector counter. Let's hope it's not Messerschmitts. No, it's flak. So we take 2 hit markers from the cup and apply them randomly. So no real change there. And that's it, back to the video. So that's the return to base planes safely landed. It does say in the rules that we should do the fate box first, but I'm a bit loath to do it. We've got Tony and ID Jester in the fate boxes, but I can't put it off anymore. Let's see how they fare. So Tony's in the fuselage fate box. Not a green pilot, so we don't use this, thank goodness. He's in a Spitfire, so we're using this column. So we need an 8 or more for him to land safely. He does it! He gets back. And now it's time for Jester's fate. He's over here in the rudder fate box. Again, he's not a green pilot. Spitfire, so this time we need a 7 or more to stop him crashing. Fingers crossed. 11 again, my goodness. Great first patrol, everybody is back safe. So all the pilots are back in their respective spaces, ready for patrol 2. Now we fill out the squadron log. And yes, for some reason, these 2 became disrupted, which they shouldn't have been. I blame the cat. But we caught it. So here's the squadron log, patrol 1 for the channel chapter. 2 probable escort kills. We need 4 to get 1 kill. 2 bombers downed. Only 4 Keta isolated, so only 6 victory points. Maybe we should have tried another chase phase to get back and see if we could have downed a few more Stukers, but hey ho, first patrol. As I say, I want to make sure everything's tickety boo. So there we are, 6 VPs. So as I said earlier, I think we're going to leave it there. We could have tried to bring those lost contact planes back into the fray, but this has been a long video, and as I said, I want to make sure that I'm playing this half right. There's a lot going on that you have to remember in this game. I think I've caught most of them, but knowing my luck, I've misplayed something. So let me know, because it'll help me in future patrols. And of course, people watching, they want to see what this is all about. But for now, this has been part 1 of a playthrough of Skies Above Britain, designed by Jerry White and Gina Willis, and published by GMT Games. Well, if you've made it this far through the video, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, and you haven't done so already, give old Ruff a helping hand and just consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help. The other thing to do, if you would, is to push the thumbs up, the like button underneath this video. That tickles the algorithm. And if you want to be informed of other content the channel uploads, then push the old bell. But make sure you push all notifications. As always, leave a comment. Gently tell me if I've made a bit of a boo-boo, or tell me what you think of the game, because as you know, I love to read them. Thanks as always to my subscribers. Thank you so much. And quickly, just before I go, if you wish to support the channel a little bit further, you can. You can buy the channel a coffee, and there's a link for that in the description, or you can push the super thanks button underneath the video. If you decide to do that, that bit of support really helps the channel to keep ticking along. So thank you. Right, let's let the dust settle on this first patrol, see how we did, and we'll be back with Patrol 2 in the near future. And I hope you can join me for that. But until then, as always, you take care and goodbye.